Super Regionals presented by Capital One. This afternoon in steamy Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the first game of a Super Regional matchup between the number 2 seed from College Station, the USC Trojans, and the number 5 overall seed, the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Here's a look at the bracket. This is the left side. The teams that will play a week from today in Omaha. The winner of this Super Regional gets the winner of an SEC showdown between Auburn and Ole Miss. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Bosworth Stadium on the campus of the University of North Carolina with Gabby Sanchez. I'm Mike Farron. I've been so excited all week for this because you have a program that is perennially a contender for Omaha right now in North Carolina against the most decorated program in college baseball history in Southern Cal.
Yeah, Southern Cal, well, they haven't been to a Super Regional in a while, but I will tell you what, two very fun teams, very similar teams defensively and on the mound.
21 years since USC has been in a Super Regional, 25 since they've been to Omaha. If they're going to get there again, it'll be on the strength of their starting pitching, and they have one of the best of the nation going today in left-hander Mason Edwards.
Yeah, Mason Edwards, you want to talk about his numbers. My goodness, he led the country in strikeouts with 164. That's 24 more than the second place. He has the second best ERA for a starting pitcher in the country. Go back, he has one of the lowest batting average against 4 starting pitchers. Guys are only hitting 153 against him, and his curveball, yeah, guys are only hitting 064 against that pitch.
Well, we know North Carolina can pitch as well. They made a change to their rotation last week, flipping Ryan Lynch to the front. He has some of the best stuff in the country.
Yeah, some of the best stuff, and everybody was saying, hey, how come you're moving guys around? He's like, no, this guy has unbelievable things. That fastball velocity is ticking up too. He was averaging almost 96 miles an hour with that fastball. He was up to 99 in his start in regionals.
Ryan Lynch with 7 shutout innings against VCU in the first game of that regional sweep. There's Caden Glauber, the finalist for the Stopper of the Year. The freshman has dominated out of the North Carolina bullpen. Will it be the pen of North Carolina or the rotation of USC that triumphs? Super Regional starts next from Chapel Hill. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Fans getting into the Bosch, the fourth home super in 5 years for North Carolina, and they will take on USC. You see the highlight in the lineup on Augie Lopez, who had a monster super regional in College Station.
That's a really good lineup top to bottom. You got a couple guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, a couple guys that can run. It's going to be really interesting to see how Ryan Lynch is going to be able to get through this one.
And Ryan Lynch makes the start for North Carolina, the draft-eligible sophomore. He was a relief ace a year ago before moving into the rotation at the end of the year. He's coming off arguably his best start in a Carolina uniform.
He really is, and all of a sudden it starts to get a little bit warm, and that velocity starts to go up, averaging 95.7 miles an hour on that fastball. In that regional start, he got up to 99 miles an hour. I can see him going out there and just utilizing that fastball early.
Fans getting into it on this steamy day, 93 degrees this afternoon at Chapel Hill, nary a breeze. It is definitely time for summer, and the boys of summer taking the field as Avery Covarrubias will lead off. The second baseman for USC digs in, and the first pitch of Super Regionals is outside a ball, and we are underway. Covarrubias, a catalyst at the top of this lineup for USC. He's got a little bit of speed, not a whole lot of power. The 1-0 from Lynch. Fired in there for a strike at 96. It's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and miss. That fastball exploded through the zone.
Yeah, he's got two different fastballs. He'll throw a sinker, and they're both about the same speed, 95, 96 with the sinker. He'll also throw the four-seamer up, and he likes to tunnel the slider off of that sinker. So he really does a good job of working east to west and trying to stay down in the zone, and then he'll get that fastball up with rise.
1-2 the count for Lynch. One misses high. The count 2-2 to Covarrubias. Southern California native digging in. Roxy, thank you. We are just underway here at Boshamer Stadium, the fourth Super Regional that North Carolina has hosted in the last 5 years, and they take on the most iconic name in college baseball in USC, and a diving stop by Eric Paulson, who underhands to Ryan Lynch to retire the leadoff man of the USC first. Nice play by this exceptional infield defense for North Carolina to get things started.
Yeah, it's been basically the key to this UNC Tar Heels team. They can pitch and they can defend, and this is a really nice play by Paulson getting over. Great job tossing that ball to Lynch, and Lynch getting a good job of getting over to first.
One out for Adrian Lopez, one of 4 USC players with double-digit home runs. Southern Cal is into Super Regionals for the first time since 2005. It seems incredible, Gabby, that the team with more national championships than anyone else, a dozen national titles, has not even been to this level in more than 20 years. It has been 25 since they've been to Omaha.
It's absolutely crazy.
Swing and miss, it's 0-2.
It's something you don't expect when you start to go back and you look at the numbers. You're like, wait, it's been that long since USC has made it to at least a Super Regional?
Andy Stankiewicz in his 4th year, the former big leaguer, former head coach at Grand Canyon University. And the count 0-2 to Adrian Lopez. He takes. Lynch thought it was strike 3. It's 1-2. Angel Campos, our home plate umpire today. But this USC team was the last unbeaten in the nation this year. They put together a strong season in the Big Ten. Has Lopez down on strikes, 2 outs. And while the starting pitching has been the story, and we'll talk more about that when we see Mason Edwards, the Big Ten pitcher of the year, in the bottom of the inning, it's been their offense that's been good. Now, they don't do much of this, but Lynch is really good.
Yeah, Lynch is really good, especially when you're able to play that slider and that sinker off the slider. All right, so he's throwing sliders and he's throwing them away, and then all of a sudden he's going to break that slider. It's going to tunnel off that same area. One's going to make a right turn, one's going to make a left turn.
Here's their leading home run hitter, Augie Lopez, the left-handed hitting designated hitter, who takes outside 1-0. Most outstanding player in the regional. That was a strike, excuse me, on the corner. Lopez was the most outstanding player in the College Station region. 19 home runs on the season. And the power is a big story for USC as this year went on. Over their last 28 regular season games and into the postseason, 54 home runs. The first half of the year, we didn't see that kind of offense from them. Now they are very dangerous at the plate. The 1-1. Down low. Just, oh no, excuse me, a strike. It's a late call from Campos. It's 1-2.
That's going to be really tough for this USC lineup. If all of a sudden Ryan Lynch is getting that pitch down because he throws that sinker, he can now start to expand down with those pitches and might get some swings and misses.
Foul back, high fastball. Lopez, a deep breath. This USC team did not go back to California at the end of the regionals after winning Game 7 on Monday. They came right to Chapel Hill with a 1-2. Swing and a miss. And a perfect first for Ryan Lynch. Mason Edwards will try to match what Ryan Lynch did in the top of the first. The nation's strikeout leader gets the ball for USC in the scoreless Super Regional Game 1. The top pitcher in the Big Ten this year was Mason Edwards, the starter for USC. Gabby leads the nation in strikeouts.
Boy, and he does it with two really good pitches. Has a good fastball with a high three-quarter release. The breaking pitch, it's a knuckle curveball. But he also uses it like a slider as well. It's two different variations. That's where he's getting a lot of his swings and misses.
There you see Edwards coming off arguably his worst start of the season, although he had a 16-0 lead when he left that start at regionals, or started that last inning. But you can see what he did this season. One of the best seasons in USC history for a pitcher, which is incredible when you consider the names that have played for the Trojans. And he will go through a lineup that we saw a lot of this season, Gabby, that I think has not received the national attention that they deserve. This is one of the toughest lineups to face in the country in UNC.
It's a very tough lineup, top to bottom. They work pitchers. That's what you're going to see. A lot of pitches being thrown, a lot of deep counts. They're not just going up there to just swing the bat. They have a plan. They try to execute that plan.
Owen Hall highlighted in the middle, the transfer from George Mason, who has been red hot down the stretch. No score as we get ready to start the bottom of the first. Jake Schaffner will lead things off, the transfer from North Dakota State. And the first pitch from the lefty, Edwards. He gets away. It's 1-0. Schaffner has been a real pest at the top of the lineup, and he's starting to get a little bit more draft attention here, Gabby, because of the quality of the bats. That's the thing that will stand out about North Carolina. Is they swing at strikes, they really make pitchers work. 1-0.
Yeah, Schaffner, I mean, you talked about it. Being the table setter on this team, does a really good job of going out there. You don't really frequently see him swinging at first pitches. He likes to make pitchers work. He's good from line to line. You can see that with his bat to ball skills.
And he swings and bounces at foul. It's 2-1. His North Carolina offense did not have a ton of power this season. That was one of the criticisms. As the year went on and it warmed up, they started to get going. There's Gavin Gallagher, their team captain, who twice has won Most Outstanding Player awards in Chapel Hill Regionals. The 2-1. And the count 3-1 now to Schaffner, the leadoff man for North Carolina. Three balls and a strike to Jake Schaffner. Leadoff man for Carolina waits. Inside ball four. It's a leadoff walk. Well, there are a lot of dignitaries here for UNC, including Roy Williams, North Carolina basketball coach and legend, three-time national champion. And their new coach is Michael Malone. Only of the Denver Nuggets has taken over the program this year. There's a great story this week, Gabby, that I think Mike Monaco had this last weekend during the regional, that the PitchCom device for UNC, the voice on it, is Roy Williams.
Roy Williams? That's cool.
Here's Gavin Gallagher, who takes a strike. It's 0-1. There's Roy.
Is he all pitches, or does it on certain?
Oh, no, it's all pitches.
It's all
Brian
pitches.
Dean said I think these guys were tired of hearing me call 180 pitches a night, so we got Roy to record it. The 0-1 and 1-1. I believe there's a dadgummit in there somewhere too.
Throw a fastball, godgummit. Get it out there.
A log hold, the 1-1 down low, 2-1. I'm assuming that dadgummit is a word that frequently gets used in the clubhouse, just like oh geez.
All the time, especially when you're hitting.
Holy smokes.
You go ahead and you miss a pitch, you're saying it.
Right now, the command for Edwards has been a little shaky as he falls behind 2-1. Gallagher takes a strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, but that's a pitch that's going to get him right back into the count. It's a spiked curveball, but he also will get around it, so it would also kind of play like a slider. He knows how to manipulate that pitch.
Gallagher hammers it deep and fouled on the left field line out in front.
And he is not giving up really any damage, only base hits with that pitch. Guys only hitting 064 off the knuckle curve. Guys are only slugging 064 off the knuckle curve.
Wait, so that means he's only given up singles on that
only
pitch all
singles
season?
on that pitch all season long.
I mean, it is a devastating breaking ball. 2-2. Hammered to left, and coming in to play it on the pounce is Lamb, and the first two have reached for North Carolina in the first. Two on, nobody out for North Carolina. And Owen Hall steps to the plate. The transfer from George Mason has put together a really strong season. Despite just 7 home runs, he's knocked in nearly 80 on the year. And every time we see him, it seems like he gets better.
It's a short, quick swing for a lefty. Power has been coming lately. He gets through the zone very quick. He is looking to hit balls into the gap.
First pitch misses 1-0. For most of the year, the kryptonite for North Carolina's offense was against left-handed pitching, but Hall has kind of sparked their improvement in that regard. He has gotten better, and that has helped him. They are a very left-handed hitting lineup. 5 left-handed hitters most nights. Only 4 in there today against the lefty Edwards. 2-0. There you see what he's done against lefties. Left on left, a .431 average. Reminds me of Luke Stevenson, who is their catcher for 2 years, who had such monster power numbers left on left. Fouled away, it's 1-2.
What he does really well is that he stays on left-handed pitching. A lot of times you'll see lefties against lefties kind of pull that front hip out and leave basically that whole entire outside of the zone open for pitchers to just go right after. He does a good job of keeping that hip in and closed.
There's a 1-2 in the dirt. Good stop. Cadena, the catcher, the count 2-2. This is the first time since March 27th, the first 2 games batters of the game have reached against Edwards.
Yeah, very nice stop, too, by Cadena behind the plate, keeping those base runners right where they are.
2-2 the count to Hull. Big spot already in the bottom of the first inning of Game 1 of Super Regionals. The delivery. Just off the plate. And the count is full.
This is a tough take for Owen Hall because it looks like a strike the whole way. It is off the plate, but again, a guy that can stay close on that front side, he's going to be able to see that pitch deep in the zone.
Andy Stankiewicz asking where it missed. The 3-2 outside, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Cadena's going to head to the mound to visit with Edwards. The walks are maybe the one knock against Edwards, but it was interesting in talking both to Andy Stankiewicz and to their pitching coach, Sean Allen, today about Edwards. And the feeling was that his ability to get out of these jams has been a big improvement that he's made. You see Allen, who's just been named the head coach at Lamar, but it was something that they didn't feel like he could do last year. They cited the Oregon game this year where he got into a bases-loaded jam in the first and got out of it as a big turning point in his mentality.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden started to get more into attack mode in these type of situations. Also, you'll see the fastball velocity start to tick up in these types of situations where he usually stays 91, 92 miles an hour with that fastball. He gets into these type of situations and you'll start to see a little bit of 94s and 95s.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Last of the first for Macon Winslow. The transfer from Duke, the DH today. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. And this was one of the matchups that North Carolina had circled that they really liked.
Yeah, and it's just because of where Edwards likes to throw the fastball. He does like to elevate out over the plate with that fastball. Macon Winslow does a really good job of handling that pitch.
Inside, moves the fastball in and off the plate. It's 1-1.
And I think Mason Edwards, and they probably talked about that too. Hey, look, there's certain guys in the lineup that we do not want to elevate on, right? Right now, what we've seen, ball staying more down in the zone.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled away. Got in his kitchen that time with a breaking ball in the count 1-2. Everything's been up with his breaking ball. He really hasn't landed a good one yet.
I mean, he's right around the plate with them, right? He's just missing. He is just a little bit off. Got to give credit to the UNC lineup. They're not swinging outside of the zone. Right now, it looks like for me that USC, they're basically playing for a double play.
Tried to hold up, he went around. That was the best breaking ball we've seen from Edwards. And he strikes out Winslow for the first out.
That's exactly what he was looking for against Macon Winslow, right? Keep that ball down. That is a variation of the curveball. It's the same grip, it's the same location, but he can get around it to be more of a slider, or he can get on top of it so it can be more of a curveball 12-6.
You see that he tied the 61-year-old record for most strikeouts in a single Big Ten season with Steve Harlan. Now here's Eric Paulson. Swinging a miss, 0-1. Most outstanding player in the Chapel Hill Regional this year. Also the transfer from Stony Brook in a big spot. You've got the left-on-left matchup, and if you're Edwards, you have to feel pretty good about your chances of at least getting the second out. 0-2. bases loaded out, 1 out, last of the first. 1-2. Here's what Paulson did in the regional against Virginia Commonwealth, ECU, 6 for 12 with 3 doubles. 10 homers on the year for the first baseman. The 1-2. Just missed. 2-2. Maybe just a little above the zone.
Yeah, barely above the zone. It's tough too because he is getting the pitch down. So now a pitch that's going to be up, umpires will kind of create their zone. So you kind of know, okay, maybe the up pitch he's not going to give you, but he might give you pitches down.
Swing and a miss. Got him to chase the high hitter. 2 outs.
And again, we see that fastball velocity. We talked about it. 91, 92, usually when he's pitching. He gets into these type of situations. Here's 95 to the top of the zone. Paulson being aggressive, can't come up with it. All of a sudden, you're 1 out away of getting out of a bases-loaded jam with no outs.
2 outs, bases loaded for Cooper Nicholson. Nicholson, another transfer from Iowa Central Community College. The Des Moines product waits and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Boy, this would be a huge momentum swing early in the game. You have the bases loaded, nobody out, against one of the best pitchers in the country in North Carolina, in jeopardy of wasting the opportunity in the dirt.
And right now you can see where USC is playing defense against Cooper Nicholson. Everybody on that left side, playing him for pull. So there is a lot of opening to that right side. But with Nicholson hitting, it's more of a power threat. He has the most home runs for UNC this year with 16.
Checks and takes a strike at the count, 1-2. Nicholson 0 for his last 11 with the bases loaded, and now behind at the count, 1-2. 2 outs, last of the first. Edwards trying to end the threat. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And Edwards strikes out the side after loading the bases with nobody out. Mason Edwards with the big breaking ball to get out of the jam. No score as we head to the second. By Mason Edwards to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam with 3 straight strikeouts, Gabby. That wasn't the best command that he's had in any inning, needing 30 pitches, but boy, it showed a lot of guts.
When he needed the command, it was there for him. Huge momentum swing. bases loaded with no outs, and then all of a sudden striking out the side.
Kevin Takeuchi leads things off, and he's behind 0-2. On the flip side, Lynch's command has been impeccable so far.
I mean, just dotting up with that fastball. Good fastball velocity, too, right now, about 96 miles an hour.
Slow roller to short. Schaffner waits for it and will throw out Takeuchi. And the leadoff man gone here in the second. Well, it was a bit of an unusual decision by many thoughts that Lynch would move into that opener role. North Carolina very rarely throws off in the regional. They tend to line up their rotation. There had been some talk during the season about flipping Lynch and Jason DeCaro, their 3-year starter in the rotation, but they hadn't done it until the regional. The stuff that you see from Lynch is a major reason why Scott Forbes decided that Ryan Lynch was going to lead things off for them.
Yeah, and also, too, Scott Forbes looks at, who they're facing and who he feels is going to be better fit to face the group that they're going up against. And he felt that Ryan Lynch had better stuff for who they were facing, and that's why he went that way. And he got really upset with people saying, oh, you're throwing off. And he's like, what are you talking about? Lynch is nasty.
I think it's just because you're so used to seeing DeCaro in that role. DeCaro as a freshman started their opening game in Omaha. But Lynch has been, this is the best we've seen him look. On the ground to second. Hot shot for Gallagher. The slip fielding second baseman throws out Cadena, 2 outs. Hit hard. But Lynch, who his pitching coach Brian Caines calls the most left-handed, right-handed pitcher I've ever coached. Tells a great story about his sliding shorts. He has the same ones on that he wore when he was 11. He's had to take it to a tailor to repair them. I mean, there's superstition, Gabby, and then
there's that.
Yeah, that, which is like, no, I want to make it clear. He does wash them between outings.
Which is why he had to take him to a tailor to get them all fixed.
This is not a hygiene issue with Ryan Lynch, but there's Brian Gaines with his tremendous mustache standing in the back. Fine pitching coach here at Carolina. And the 1-1. Popped up foul off to the right, not a play by Jack Basier. And the count 1-2. Basier's put together a really fine season for the Trojans. See the numbers. The transfer from TCU a year ago bounces to short, and Lynch with a 1-2-3 second. Through 1.5, no score. North Carolina and USC. It's the opener of Super Regionals. Tradition in college baseball, you think USC, the Trojans, the most men's college World Series titles. See the 98 squad there, 21 men's college World Series appearances, but it's been a quarter century. The man that built that program, Rod Dato, 45 years as the head coach, 11 national championships, and a pair of Hall of Famers on the mound. Tom Terrific and the big unit. USC is college baseball. I got to tell you, Gabby, just as a college baseball fan, USC being back in the Super Regional is super cool. This is such a great moment for college baseball. We have missed USC being great. Since their last Super Regional appearance in 2005, they had made just 3 regionals, 2015, 2025, and this year. Liner to center field by Tyler Howe, and a diving attempt by Walter Urban. It'll be a base hit. Good effort from the freshman center fielder, but Howe reaches on the blooper.
Oh, I thought Urban had a beat on this one. Really good on the first step as he's going after and attacking this baseball. Looks like on the dive, ball just kind of got off the tip of his glove and he couldn't corral it. But he was leaving it all out there. If that ball gets by him, Howe's going to keep on going. And Edwards looking, going, almost got it for me.
Yeah, Urban's been in the lineup because of his defense at center field. He's a terrific outfielder. Colin Hynek takes the ball low, 1-0. Hynek had the big blast of the regional final, a 3-run home run that got Carolina on the board and tied the game and really settled everything down against East Carolina. The transfer from Georgia State waits. The 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. All right, so let me ask you about this. We were talking about this with Mason Edwards before the game. He only lasted into the 5th inning, his shortest and worst outing of the year in the regionals against Lamar, in part because it was hotter and hot in College Station and very, very humid. And their offense was so good in that game against Lamar that it was like 30-minute half innings, and he was fatigued. Well, now he only had 3 minutes between the bottom of the first and the bottom of the second inning, and you can see how hot it is. We haven't seen the 15-mile-an-hour wind gusts yet, but the first 2 have reached here in the second inning. How big a concern does that need to be for USC right now?
Now, it's a different type of heat. Now, we were both on the field, and it was hot. But it's not really humid hot, right? So you're not going to be sweating as much as you would have been at College Station. And you're right. When you're down and you're sitting down in the dugout and you have that heat and it's just all around you and you can't get away from it, that you're just consistently sweating, it's tough on the body. I think being a shorter kind of inning and getting back out there bodes better for him.
Ron Kellis, the 5th, swings and misses. It's 0-1. Kellis, a couple hits in the regional final. A transfer a year ago from Florence Darlington Tech. There's the Region 10 Player of the Year in junior college. Pulls back in the dirt and taking off for third with a great read is the freshman Howe. That was excellent base running there. The trail runner Hynek stayed at first.
Yeah, reading it too. As soon as that ball hit the dirt, he was shuffling. Once he saw that that ball was away, that's when he realized, okay, I can get going. Stankiewicz is wondering, hey, look, this should be interference because take a look at Kellis. He kind of goes out of the batter's box, and they do kind of hit each other. Now, there wasn't going to be any play whatsoever, but still, it's the thought process of, hey, my guy's going after a ball. Their hitter is there, and he can't get to it.
You know, one thing that is worth mentioning, too, in conversations, Angel Campos is our home plate umpire, and he received a bit of infamy last year in the Men's College World Series for ejecting Kevin Schnall in Game 2 of the finals, a Coastal Carolina coach, in the first inning. If you have a respectful conversation the way Andy Stankiewicz had, it's going to be an easier day. If you challenge him, things can get heated very quickly in this game. The 1-1. Popped up behind the plate, tossing the mask away. Cadena makes the catch for a huge first out. Big pitch there from Edwards, who has had to labor, but boy, is he, I mean, he's one pitch away from getting out of this jam.
Yeah, I mean, this is back-to-back inning where all of a sudden You look at the UNC lineup, they have guys in scoring position with less than 2, guys on third with no outs. So far haven't been able to cash in. With Mason Edwards on the mound, if you're UNC, it's like you have to cash in on these opportunities. Now, he doesn't make it easy because he's able to throw his breaking pitches for strikes, especially when he gets into these types of situations. He also can pump up the fastball to more 95, 96 rather than that 91 or 92. But you're right, he's one pitch away. It looks like USC now is going to play corners in, and they'll play middle back to see if they can turn a double play.
First pitch to Jake Schaffner in the dirt, smothered again by Cadena. It's 1-0.
Now with Schaffner running, it's going to be a little bit harder to turn that double play. It's got to be a well-hit baseball to the middle to be able to turn it because he is a lefty and he can motor down that first base line.
Now Edwards gets a ton of ground balls against left-handed hitters. It's a 54% ground ball rate against lefties. So well over break even. Here's the 1-0. Strike on the corner and the count 1-1. They have just nipped the bottom of the zone, a pitcher's pitch. North Carolina had the bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the first and couldn't score. Runners at the corners with nobody out, and the first man retired. Simpson and Schaffner rifles it to right field. It's a base hit. It'll get North Carolina on the board. Howe scores, Heineck to third, 1-0 UNC.
UNC is looking to see if they can capitalize finally with guys in scoring position. Jake Schaffner is able to deliver, gets a good fastball, turns on this pitch, 101 miles an hour off the bat, hits it to right. Not only does he get the RBI, he's able to get Colin Heineck all the way over to third.
And now here's Gavin Gallagher, who has had more than his fair share of massive hits in his 3 years at North Carolina. This is his time of the season. Over to first and the runner back. Gallagher, the batting average lower this year, just .283, a dozen homers. He hit the walk-off grand slam against LIU that turned Chapel Hill into Chapel Thrill. There's a strike and the count 0-1, and here are his postseason numbers. Look at this, 364 with an OPS over 1100.
Oh, when the lights get the brightest, he comes out and he's usually crushing some baseballs.
Swing and a miss. And the count 0-2 to the second baseman. Pitch number 45 on the afternoon already upcoming for Edwards. Toss to first and diving back Schaffner. Schaffner the best threat to run in the lineup for UNC, but Edwards does an exceptional job controlling the running game. Another toss, diving back.
Yeah, Edwards very good at controlling the running game. He understands what he needs to do, and then he also too understands who are the guys who are going to run, right? So when you look at this UNC lineup, Schaffner, one of those guys. Owen Hall, another one of those guys who can run. So he kind of knows, like, hey, okay, these are my two real big threats to take off. Now what UNC does do is balls in the dirt. They're very good at recognizing that ball hitting and trying to take that extra 90.
Straight throws over. That has to be like he's going to throw a breaking ball.
Right. I mean, that's usually what happens. You have a pitcher that throws over. They're trying to keep him close so that he can bury that curveball.
That guy's not happy. And Edwards going to make him even angrier.
Sometimes I feel like the pitchers just do it on purpose when they hear the crowd going like, oh, now I'm just messing with him here.
Oh, I like that. It just, bow up to him.
Yeah.
The 0-2. Liner into left, coming on and making the sliding catch is the left fielder Lamb. Tagging and coming home is Heineck. It's a sac fly for Gallagher and a 2-0 North Carolina lead.
And it's exactly what we thought. And for me, I feel like Gavin Gallagher thought the same exact thing. After all those throw over, okay, he's probably trying to keep him close because he's going to throw me a breaking ball. Gallagher does a good job of just staying on that pitch, driving it to the outfield. It's going to be a sac fly, and that scores another run for UNC.
2 outs for Owen Hull. This is what we talked about, the relentlessness of North Carolina's offense. They just put this together, and today it sounds like part of the plan was, hey, listen, we know we're going to strike out so against Mason Edwards. You can't not with that breaking ball. First pitch to Hall is a strike.
Yeah, for them, it's just a plan, right? You have a certain plan, and what's that plan? Well, for right-handed hitters, you got to look out over and you got to look up. You can't do anything if he throws it in and down. So if he throws those, then you're going to strike out. Let him have it.
0-2.
For lefties, opposite, right? Look in more. Look to see if you can get that bat hit out. Maybe back off the plate a little bit. Give yourself some room.
Runner dies back. Think about going 0-2 here. Just if you get thrown out, you're still starting with the heart of your order?
I mean, it's not a bad decision at all. You kind of put a little bit of pressure, get yourself into scoring position.
Edwards is just so quick to the plate. In addition to being left-handed, he just is really fast.
It's a quick slide step. And then you get all the picking over. You know, even when he comes up, you never know really, is he going to go over to first or is he going to go home? You got to really just go first move.
Outside. 2-2.
They were clocking about a what, 1.1 to a 1.8, something in that range. Yeah. And I guarantee you, every single one of the coaches out there has that stopwatch, and they're going, yeah, we're not going anywhere on that.
You need to be around 1.4 from started delivery to the ball hitting the catcher's mid. 1.4 seconds is when you start thinking you've got a good chance to go.
Right, and that's where you're just basically, if you're a base runner, you're going first move. Because you can't just say, oh, I'm going to wait until he picks up to go. No, as soon as you see that movement, you've got to take off. And if he picks over, you know, you're going to get picked off.
Upstairs, the count full to Hull. The other part of that is you got a lefty on the mound, too. I mean, he's already making it difficult on you. So he's fast. He's got a good move. Right now, it's command jumping around already at 50 pitches, and the runner will be on the go.
Yeah, and here, if you're a base runner, too, you've got to wait until he delivers the ball home, right? So you're not going to get that typical jump that you would on a 3-2 with 2 outs.
Runner goes, the pitch. Called strike 3. Hall tossed the bat away, but he's called out on strikes, and the inning is over. North Carolina strikes first. Jake Schaffner with the RBI base hit off the lefty Mason Edwards. It's 2-0 North Carolina as we go to the third. Continues tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ABC. It'll be the first game in Vegas after the 1-1 split in Carolina. Canes with a thrilling comeback win last night in Game 2, 5-4. That guy is in the wrong section.
Somebody got maybe some StubHub takes and went, uh-oh.
He is a man on an island right now as Ryan Lynch's first pitch is at the feet of Andrew Lamb. Ball one. Lamb, Carpentier, and Walter Urban. Andrew Lamb, the son of former big leaguer Mike Lamb. Here's the 1-0. Strike in the count 1-1 from a teammate of our good friend Chris Burke. Mike Lamb could hit, man. Like, that guy was a really good hitter. Left-handed stick, and his son's pretty similar. And he swings and skies out one deep to right center field. Going back out of this hole, and that ball is gone! Andrew Lamb gets the Trojans on the board with his 13th of the year. It's a 2-1 game. Well, that was no cheapie either, and what an answer from USC.
Well, this ball goes a long way. Stays back, gets that bat head through on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And just like his pops, if you throw a fastball up in the zone and you miss location, boy, he could send it out a long, long way. 108 miles an hour off the bat.
Dean Carpentier takes a strike. It's 0-1. That home run on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, the first hit USC has had on a pitch at 97+ all year. Here's Carpentier. Carpentier opened the year as the third baseman for USC, and because they had some offensive issues at the bottom of the lineup, they moved him to short. And I think one of the things that is really impressive is that when I started looking through some of the advanced metrics on Andy Stankiewicz's club, Carpentier has been an above-average defender at shortstop this year. It's been really impressive what he's been able to do. Now, the bottom of the lineup is a big reason why they had success in College Station.
Boy, you're able to do that with the bottom of the lineup. That's going to lead to a lot of wins. You want to see production from your bottom of the lineup, but that's more than production.
There you see Walter Urban, who also moved into the lineup later in the season, mostly for his defense. They had some injuries. As that one slapped foul. Avery Covarrubias had a hamstring issue a couple of different times, and they had to move him around. Kevin Takeuchi was playing center. They moved him back to second. Maddox Risky, who was their starting shortstop for most of the year, struggled offensively, so they started to move guys around as Carpentier lines a base hit to left. And the thing is that their defense has not suffered with any of these changes. And boy, especially last weekend. I mean, you started hearing about, well, the bottom of the line was pretty pitchable. It wasn't last weekend. Remember, they had to come all the way through the losers bracket to get here. They lost their opener to Texas State. That's not easy.
Not easy, and having to, basically as a team be like, okay, we can't afford any miscues at that point, right? Like, you lose the first game and that's it. Can't lose any other, and to be able to come back the way that they did and win that regional shows their toughness.
Urban likely to bunt here. And he does. Back to the mound. Lynch is played first, one out. The NCAA Men's College World Series coverage continues next weekend across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Tying run in scoring position with one out for the top of the order, and Covarrubias. Upstairs, it's 1-0. We saw part of, Gabby, what USC does. They will bunt a fair amount at the bottom of the order, and Urban was perfect in getting the man into scoring position. The 1-0. A strike, it's 1-1.
It's funny because, in big league ball, they'll say, analytics will tell you never bunt a guy over from first to second. right? But if you have first and second with no outs, yeah, you can go ahead and bunt them, and analytics will tell you that. This is not big leagues. This is college baseball. You got to know your team, and hey, get guys into scoring position for your top of the lineup is huge.
Floater to first, 2 outs. We talked a little bit to Andy Stankiewicz about that this week, and he's like, yeah, it drives my pro ball buddies nuts. As well as I do.
But you just, look, you got to know your team. It's a different style of baseball, right? Like, hey, go out there, put pressure on, get guys moving, make pitchers make plays. Now, there's a lot of pitchers that I've seen who can't make that throw over to first. Oh, they could dot on the mound, but all of a sudden here comes a bunt, and that ball goes, you know, to right field, and now, hey, we're going to put more pressure on.
Well, it's a big spot for Adrian Lopez with the tying run at second and 2 outs. And the count 0-1. Lopez transferred from Long Beach State last year. He has power, 13 home runs on the season. The 0-1. 0-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew the heater by him. And the inning is over. The USC gets a run on the solo shot from Andrew Lamb. Fastball running away, and he ran it over the boards. It's 2-1 UNC heading to the bottom of the third. Blue Bloods and New Bloods meeting here. I think it's fair to call North Carolina New Blood, don't you? I mean, they went to College World Series in the 60s, and the 70s, the 80s, but really it's been the last 20 years. You see how important today is. Winning game 1 of Super Regionals gives you a good opportunity. USC, the most storied program in college baseball, a dozen championships, into Super Regionals for the first time in 21 years. Making Winslow lead things off. DH takes a strike, and the count 1-1. Here's the 0-2. Tried to hold up, and he did. Appealed to Mike Morris at first, the count 1-2.
And this is the inning for Mason Edwards, not only to try to see if he could have a quick inning, but have a shutdown inning, all right? USC just finished scoring 1. They got their first hit. It was a big one. They were able to capitalize. You got to just keep it here.
Just missed inside, 2-2. Edwards has certainly had to work very hard to this point.
Yeah.
Again, the strength for USC all season has been him and Grant Gavell, their second starter. As Winslow wraps it foul. And so, like, they really count on those guys. And Edwards probably is looking at a little bit of a shorter start. Now, they do have Drew Johnson, who's been a starter and kind of their hybrid relief ace. He'd probably be behind him today. Winslow hammers another one foul. I think your point, he needs to put some guys away quickly here.
Yeah, just soft contact, get some early contact in the zone. Kind of what he's been doing, kind of attacking the zone. Because we have seen this UNC lineup. They're really good at spoiling tough pitches.
Down low, and the count is full. There's Grant Gavell, the sophomore. 150 pitches in the regional, started the opener and then came back and started the finale on Monday. And Winslow, a leadoff walk here in the third. Well, here's what North Carolina did this season, Gabby. They lost their first ACC series to Virginia and then won the next 9. 4 pitchers named the all-ACC teams, including today's starter Ryan Lynch. 3rd straight year they've been a top 8 national seed. Last year they lost in Game 3 of a Super Regional to Arizona. 2 years ago they found their way to Omaha. 4th home Super in 5 years. That is not easy to do.
The consistency that Scott Forbes has been able to create here in Chapel Hill has been really fun to watch, because we've been here, we've seen those teams kind of grow.
Paulson hammers it up the alley in left center field. That one's going to get down, and it'll roll all the way to the wall. Racing around third is Winslow. The relay won't be made. It's an RBI double for Paulson, and a 3-1 North Carolina lead in the third.
And Eric Paulson does a really good job just staying on the fastball. Again, we talk about Edwards. He likes to elevate that fastball out over the plate. Paulson able to stay on it, drive it to that left center field gap. And how about making Winslow, who got on base via the walk, off and running. There was never any hesitation by Scott Forbes, the third base coach, just waving him in.
Most outstanding player in the Chapel Hill Regional, Paulson, continuing his postseason success. And Sean Allen, the pitching coach for USC, making a trip out to visit as they're going to start getting some action in the Trojans' pen.
Yeah, for Mason Edwards, that was his 4th walk, and that was against Winslow. 2 of those have come in to score. So it goes to show, you give out free passes, especially against a team like UNC, guys that can handle the bat, they can make you work, they can handle mistakes. It's going to come back to haunt you. So as a pitcher, it's almost like, hey, don't give any free passes up, and you got to go right after those hitters.
Edwards has been pitching out of traffic in almost every inning. USC's pitching was tremendous in the College Station Regional as they came through the losers bracket. Today he's on the ropes here as Nicholson fouls it back. It's 0-1. And an offensive timeout here as Nicholson will go and visit with Scott Forbes. Here's Edwards really scuffled against Lamar. He had a big lead. He had to sit long times between innings. And you saw what he did against Lamar in the regional. He has had some quick innings to get back to work here, but just very laborious in the dirt. Cadina's already made 4 great stops behind the plate. On dirt ball breaking balls, it's 1-1.
It's really easy for a pitcher when you have a guy like Cadena back there who, I mean, it's soft too, right? Just getting his body right in front of him, just keeping everything right there.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. North Carolina with a run home in the inning. Sean Allen trying to find the right pitch to throw here to the powerful Cooper Nicholson. The delivery. Swinging a fly ball into left center field. Going back on it is Urban. He will make the catch. Paulson tagging from second. He will head to third. And he just gets in ahead of the throw. And now North Carolina with a man at third and 1 out.
That's just great team baseball there. Guy on second with no outs. You got to get him over. And of course, you're not telling Cooper Nicholson to go ahead and give himself up. So he's still trying to put the ball in play and put it hard. It's deep enough to center field where Aaron Paulson is able to tag up and get himself over to third. That's a big boy running from second to third.
The insurance run 90 feet away, and USC is going to bring the infield all the way in. Tyler Howe singled and scored his first trip. The freshman takes upstairs 1-0.
And not only that, look how they're playing infield in, right? Everybody basically on that first base side. The only one is Takeuchi, who is at third base, and he's playing in. So there's a lot of area at that shortstop side.
Check swing foul at the plate. The count 1-1 to Howe.
And we've definitely seen Howe being able to handle that bat. Right now, if you're Edwards, you got to be pounding that inside part to Howe. You want him to try to hit that ball to that right side where you have all of your defenders.
Howe puts together really good at bats. The numbers aren't great overall for the freshman. And he takes a strike in the count 1-2.
Not only that, you got to look at it too where Paulson, not a burner, is at third base, right? So the infield's going to have time if they get this ground ball to be able to set their feet and make a good throw to home.
Well, you can see how shallow the outfield is in left and center, Gabby. Swing and a miss. Howe down on strikes and a big second out for Edwards here.
That's a big time pitch because as a hitter, you're looking for something up in the zone. He got it. He just cannot catch up to it.
2 outs for Colin Hynek. 5 strikeouts for Edwards today, but already approaching 70 pitches here in the third. Hynek walked his first trip and takes high, ball 1. The 1-0. And the count evens at 1-1. Edwards still looks composed on the mound. Off the end of the bat, it's going to be a tough play for the pitcher, who will throw to first, and he throws it into the runner. A run comes home to score. Hynek is safe, and it's 4-1 North Carolina in the third.
Edwards did everything right. He got there quickly, just pulled the throw. And we talk about what do bunts do? Well, guess what? Swinging bunts do the same exact thing, where a pitcher has to move his feet to go get it. Everything was perfect, but all he did was just pull that ball right into Hynek's back.
They've given him an error on the throw. And now the number 9 hitter, Ron Kellis, will hit. 1-0. Like, I knew that North Carolina was going to put together good at-bats here against Edwards. I'm not sure that I had 75 pitches in 3 innings against him.
And they told her, like, look, you know that there's going to be a lot of strikeouts. But that's okay, right? Because to get a strikeout, you're going to have to get that pitch count up. and they were okay with that as long as they're following the plan. And we've seen it, this whole season long. If they're following the plan, one, they're going to get the pitch count up, but they're going to have a lot of success.
And it's been relentless in each inning. Remember, it's a 30-pitch first, so it's not like there's been any breathers for Edwards so far. Count 1-2.
By the way, Heineck ain't going anywhere at this point. You have Ronquilles, he's up. He's a 9-hole hitter. You're going to let this just play out.
You don't think that this is an opportunity for a catcher to steal a second base in the year?
No, you're just going to let it get to the top of the line.
I mean, that would be the element of surprise.
It would be.
2-2.
Hey, look, Heineck is 1 for 1 in stolen bases.
I mean,
sure. Don't talk. I'm a big boy too, and I can steal some bases.
You don't want to ruin his efficiency then. It gets the lead. The 2-2 in the air to right, moving towards the line is Basir, and he will make the catch. The inning is over. North Carolina gets 2 more. We'll talk to their head coach, Scott Forbes, in a moment. We head to the 4th, 4-1 North Carolina. By Carolina head coach Scott Forbes. Scott, the relentlessness of your offense, what has impressed you about their consistency at bats, not just today but all season?
Coach Wiersbicky and Coach Jackson, they do a heck of a job with them. All the guys are completely bought in. They know the importance of just battling and trying to have great at bats. You look at that last inning, I think Winslow was 0-2 and he found a walk. And when you win those at bats like that, you got a chance to chip away against a really, really good pitching staff.
You talked about a good pitching staff, but what you have right now with Ryan Lynch and what he's been able to do here today, what have you liked out of him?
I just like the way he's getting after it, attacking. We talk about the next play mentality. He gave up the home run and he got us back in the dugout with only 1 run. That's what you got to be to do in big games like this.
Scott, we appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
Thank you, guys.
Scott Forbes, the Lee County, North Carolina native, just about 30 or so miles down the road in Sanford, where he's from. And his team has a 4-1 lead in the opener of Super Regionals. And now Ryan Lynch goes through the heart of the order a second time for Coach Forbes. He'll face Augie Lopez. He rips it foul. Count 1-1.
Yeah, this is when you're USC at this point. It's about just answering back. Just gave up 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Want to go out there and just put something on the board. 1, 2, no, whatever it could be. But you want to kind of get that momentum back on your side.
Outside. 2-1. Well, this is the right guy to get it started. There's not a whole lot of left-handed bats in the USC lineup, only 3 of them. But Ryan Lynch has struggled more significantly with lefties than righties this year. We saw it with the Lamb homer. Is it because of how much run the fastball has?
Yeah, it's because he's a sinker, and usually when you're going to go into a lefty as a righty, it's going to be more four-seam fastball. But when you try to get in there with that sinker, it's just going to leak right back over the plate. When you try to go middle in, it's going to just be a perfect pitch for lefties to hit.
Foul back. I would have to think that there's a little bit of leak and run on that
fastball
too, right?
Yeah, I mean, usually a guy that has a sinker, that fastball is going to have a little bit of run in. It's really hard for them to have that straight four-seam fastball. So to try to get in there, there still will be a little bit of leak into the barrel for a lefty.
2-2. Comeback two-seamer, didn't get the corner. Lynch thought he had it, and the count is full.
This is a good pitch. This is a front door sinker, and boy, it looked like it did catch the plate.
The count goes full to Lopez. And the payoff. Called strike 3. That one had a lot more of the plate, and it froze Lopez for out number 1.
When at first you don't succeed, try it again, and it's another sinker. Front door just freezes Lopez, and you're right. This one definitely caught a lot more of the plate.
So let me ask you, in that situation, obviously you were a right-handed hitter, so if a lefty was throwing that comeback two-seamer to you,
I would be doing the same exact thing and walking back to the dugout because you have to give something in the plate if you want to be a good hitter, right? And the last thing that you're expecting is that they're going to be able to get that, front door sinker in on you. So you gotta just kind of tip your hat or your helmet and go back to the dugout and be like, I mean, that was just a really good pitch. Now, if he leaves that pitch out over, that's going to be a homer.
2-0 the count to Kevin Takeuchi. He takes high in the count 3-0. Takeuchi, one of the really key guys in this lineup. He is one of their glue guys. He was a late bloomer in high school in San Diego. But he is just a ball player. So Braden Dowd, who transferred to Florida State this year, had been Andy Stankiewicz's center fielder. And they came to Takeuchi in the fall as he pops that one into shallow right, and it'll fall in for a base hit and a one-out single. And they said to Takeuchi, hey, what do you think about playing some center field? And he was like, no problem, I got this. And he went out there and did it and played well. And then injuries have forced him back to the infield for Andy Stankiewicz's team. But he and Covarrubias, especially at the top of the order, are the guys that hold everything together. He is a really, really good all-round ball player. I think that's one of the things that, the pitching has been the focus for USC, but this is not a team that beats itself very often. Isaac Cadena, the catcher, hits. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
How cool, though, is that for Andy Stankiewicz when you go to a guy and you're like, hey, Taki, what do you think about playing center? And he's like, got you. I'll do that right away. Like, no, there was nothing like, what do you mean? I want to play infield. It's like, no, what do you need me? That's what I'm going to go ahead and do.
Upstairs, the count 1-1. Yeah, the kicker on that story from Andy Stankiewicz was he doesn't care where he plays. He just wants the Trojans to win. That was it. He's like, I just want the Trojans to win. And I thought that was so cool to hear.
And for a head coach, hearing that, oh, man. You're like, sign that guy up.
1-1 to Cadena. Fouls it at the plate and count 1-2.
Give me a team of 26, 27 guys like that who just want to go out there. I just want to win.
Well, they have a lot of those guys here who just want to play and win. And I think have an appreciation for USC's history. I've heard some of the players talk about that. And they're not a team that spends big money in the portal. They've got guys who just want to play and win. So like Cadena, who transferred from TCU, wanted to catch. And he was kind of a utility guy last year at TCU and came in and wanted to catch. Takeuchi just wants to win there. And that's kind of how Andy Stankiewicz has run this program. It's just an opportunity to get guys who want to grind it out and win, and that's why USC has gotten back to national prominence in the 4 years that he's been there. 2-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Cadena down on strikes, 2 outs. ESPN is the home of MLB.TV. You stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLBTV. 2 outs for Jake Basir. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. Basir, another one of those transfers that got an opportunity here. Batting with a man at first and 2 outs in the 4th, and USC trailing 4-1. Oh, and got a piece of him and got him on the hand as Basir had to try and matrix out of the way of that.
I thought for a second that might have hit the bat just because of the sound. Boy, it was loud. It's a sinker that's barreling in. Oh, yeah, right on the top of the hand. Oh, boy. Yowzer. I mean, that's a loud hit by pitch. That's why when I heard it live, I was like, did that hit the bat? Just because it was so loud. But then you see it does make all the contact on the top of that hand.
North Carolina is going to challenge this call, but it is, I think they thought like you did, Gabby, that with the sound of it that it may have hit the bat, the way it bounced away, but this is going to be upheld very quickly. Two-seamer running in.
Yeah, I mean, that's right on the top of the hand. And how loud that was off the top of the hand.
This is, well, they're already done with the review.
After review, the call is confirmed. The hit by pitch stands. North Carolina loses the challenge. They have 1 remaining.
Ryan DeProuwer, the second base umpire, making the call, but now there's 2 aboard, the tying run coming to the plate, and it's Andrew Lamb who's already homered in this game.
And Andrew Lamb, you got to remember too, that was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that he hit out. So he is not afraid to hit the fastball.
I guess he's not going to see a first pitch two-seamer.
But he should be waiting for it.
First pitch. Lamb fouls it back. It wasn't a two-seamer, but he had a big rip at it. It's 0-1.
It looks like he was thinking the same thing. If I'm probably not going to be getting a fastball, I'll probably get something off speed. I'm going to take a rip at him. Boy, did he.
No batting gloves for Lamb, the international sign for hitterish. Tying run at the plate, top of the 4th inning. 1-1.
By the way, you talked about Chris Burke being a teammate of his dad. Well, I was also a teammate of his pops in his last season in the big leagues. Played for the Florida Marlins at that point.
The 1-1. Foul back. And they count 1-2. Takeuchi at second. Basir at first. 2 outs. North Carolina with a 4-1 lead here in the 4th. Opener of Super Regionals on this hot day in Chapel Hill. The 1-2. Trying to check his swing. He held up. Chris Gonzalez at third said no swing. 2-2.
It's the right pitch, too. Ends up throwing that sinker up and away off the plate. And he definitely checked. See if he goes with the slider at this point.
Popped up towards the line and left. Racing over is Kellis, and in foul ground makes the catch. And Lynch gets out of the jam. Southern Cal leaves a pair through 3.5. It's 4-1 North Carolina. Well, we've been humming it here in the booth, KB. It's been one of the great moments in regional history was watching West Virginia's players sing Country Roads. They do after every win with their fans when they walked off Kentucky in Game 7 on Monday night. Now they're a win away from Omaha. They're on the same side of the bracket as North Carolina and USC, and USC's ace Mason Edwards is out of the game after 3 innings. It was a laborious outing, his shortest of the year, Gabby. And the last 2 outings for Edwards, you can see that's frustration from a guy who wanted to be his best on the biggest stage. First pitch to Jake Schaffner is a strike. It's 0-1. Chase Harrell is on, the transfer from Ohio State. Pitch bounce foul, the count 0-2. Boy, it has to be such a frustrating outing for Edwards, who never really could get on track.
I mean, look, the stuff is there, right? We saw the stuff. It's real. It's 94, 95. He wasn't really, commanding the breaking ball, especially early in counts. When you do that against a team like UNC, who doesn't really swing out of the zone, they make pitchers work. It makes it really tough for a pitcher. Because it's not like he was missing by all that much. I mean, he was just off.
Schaffner fouls another one away. That one was almost in Cadita's glove when he got a piece of it. So they turned things over to the sophomore Harrell, who, as a transfer from Ohio State, he was actually recruited to Ohio State by Sean Allen when he was on the staff there, the pitching coach for USC.
Hey, it's funny, too, because he has reverse splits. He's actually better versus lefties than righties. One of the reasons why against lefties, loves to command that inside part of the plate.
Nice down low, 2-2.
He will go in with fastballs, and he really does a good job of commanding that inside part. On a little bit of a crossfire, he stands on that third base side of the rubber. He's able to control in, then he's able to utilize that changeup away.
Schaffner on the ground to first, backhanded, and taking it to the bag himself is Lopez for out number 1. Leadoff man gone in the 4th. Gavin Gallagher singled and delivered a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. It's the opener of this Super Regional. North Carolina, last of the Men's College World Series 2 years ago. As Gallagher fouls it back. USC last there a quarter of a century ago, 25 years. Since the Trojans have been to Omaha. And you see, North Carolina has 12 College World Series appearances without a title. USC has 12 titles. That's the difference. Andy Stankiewicz trying to work his magic. This USC team that facing a real battle against Scott Forbes' North Carolina squad. Outside, 1-2. Remember, USC is used to being in this position. They lost the opener of regionals. They have had to battle just to get through the College Station regional. As Gallagher down on strikes, 2 outs, and it's going to be up to their pitching to keep them in this now. USC has more than a few notable alums. A pair of Hall of Famers there. Tom Terrific, Randy Johnson. You see Kong, Dave Kingman, nearly 500 home runs in his career. MVP Fred Lynn. Mark Pryor, Barry Zito, former Cy Young Award winner.
Pitching, jeez.
How about some hitters?
Oh, there we go.
Here's Aaron Boone, Yankees manager, whose son Brandon is on the football staff here at North Carolina as an offensive assistant. I was looking back, I was covering the World Series a couple of years ago with the Yankees and Dodgers, and there is footage of an old regular season USC UCLA game that you can find on YouTube. that has Aaron Boone hitting 6th and playing 3rd base, and the leadoff hitter for UCLA, Dave Roberts.
Oh, that's great.
Both managers playing in that. One and two, the count to Owen Hall. A walk in the first and strikeout looking to add the 4th. Foul away. You see some of the 121 USC players in the big leagues. And the 2 Hall of Famers, Seaver and Randy Johnson. Outside, 2-2. My former broadcast partner, Randy Johnson.
Oh.
Did you know that we did?
Is that back in Arizona?
Yeah, we did some spring training games together a couple of different years. I loved working with Randy. The problem is when he would gesticulate in the booth, he's 6'10", so you always felt like he was coming right at you.
I was going to say, during the opens, did you have to stand on the box so you could be eye to eye?
It was 2 boxes. And an A2. The 3-2. Fouled away. Randy, who has had a reputation as being prickly as a player, is like, he is great to just stand around and chat with now. He is having the time of his life. Terrific photographer.
Great photographer.
Oh. 3-2. Hall back towards the middle and past the diving shortstop into center field, a base hit. Good effort from Carpentier. He was frustrated with himself that he couldn't come up with that, but it was a hot smash from Hall, and there's a 2-out base runner.
Hey, look, Hall hits his ball 107 miles an hour off the bat. He stings it. I love that Carpentier, though, is going after it, and he realizes, like, I want to make this play, even though, I mean, you did everything you could on there. It was a quick first step. It was a full extension dive. But you got to love it. They want to make every play out there.
Hall is a threat to run, 17 of 22 in stolen base attempts, but one other thing to keep in mind, Cadena behind the plate threw out 35% of base runners at this point of the season. So it is a challenge to run against this USC team. Count 0-1. And it does look like Harrell is pretty quick to the plate.
Yeah. I love that, too, because all of a sudden you saw Cadena kind of look over saying, hey, he might be running here.
Missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Winslow.
The thing that you have, though, if you're UNC, you have guys who are coming up that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Making Winslow 10 home runs on the season. Paulson, same thing, 10 home runs. And, of course, Cooper Nicholson, who leads this team with 16 home runs.
This is the power in the Carolina lineup. There you see Nicholson. Striking into 1 and 2. Think about this. Harrell got the first 2 guys in the order and gave up a base hit. He's on his 4th hitter of the inning, and he's already at 21 pitches. Like, it's just a relentless approach from North Carolina.
It's just what they do. It's like wearing down a pitcher, right? And that's where when you kind of look at Mason Edwards in his day, a lot of it was just wearing him down.
I mean, we're 2 outs into the 4th, and I believe this next pitch will be the 100th of the game for USC pitching. Edwards still frustrated with his performance. The 2-2. Winslow in the air to left. Lamb is there to make the catch, and the inning is over. A 2-out single, a man left. We've played 4. North Carolina with a 4-1 lead.
ESPN 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
History happening here in Chapel Hill, the first ever meeting in a super regional between North Carolina and the University of Southern California. As we get ready to start the fifth, first pitch inside to Dean Carpentier. It's 8-9-1 due for USC here in the fifth. Strike in the count 1-1. Did you know, Gabby, that there are 3 teams that are Trojans in NCAA Division I baseball, and that all 3 of them made the Super Regionals?
I mean, I did know that, but I wouldn't have known that unless it's been talked about so much.
You could have just said yes.
But I didn't want to lie to you. Like coming in, no, but we knew.
Swing and a miss, the leadoff man gone to the USC fifth. Here are the other ones. The Troy Trojans will host the Little Rock Trojans. And the first of that Super Regional coming up. Yeah, it actually gets underway in just about 20 minutes. You'll see the Trojan man, Andy Stankiewicz. One hopper to second, and right there is Gallagher, 2 outs. 2 quick outs here for Ryan Lynch. He's been in control.
It's kind of been the opposite, right, than Mason Edwards, of just going out there and just attacking the zone, using your pitches, letting them run. One of the biggest things this whole entire season for Ryan Lynch was, being able to get deep into the game, where he hadn't been able to, and all of a sudden at regional he comes out, goes 7 innings, and it's like, oh, it's nice to go deep into a ball game.
What was the line that he had? It was nice to throw 100 pitches over 7 5. So self-aware. But this looks like the Ryan Lynch that was the closer at the end of the year last year, most of last year for North Carolina.
This is different here. You bring in velocity. All of a sudden now, instead of it being like 93, 94, now he's in that 6, he's in the 7. He's able to utilize the breaking pitch off of that fastball, the slider. Has a changeup working as well.
Two hopper to short, and a very tidy 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Lynch. Halfway through this one, North Carolina leads 4-1. We'll visit with USC head coach Andy Stankiewicz next. (4-1) North Carolina as we head to the bottom of the fifth. We're joined now by USC head coach Andy Stankiewicz. And Stanky, first and foremost, what did you guys see in those 3 innings from Mason Edwards today?
I didn't think that he makes some big pitches to get out some jams there, but just didn't quite, wasn't as sharp as we've seen him in the past. His fastball is missing way up. Breaking ball wasn't as good as he typically is, and so just felt like it was time to make a move.
When you look at your offense right now against Ryan Lynch, what do you want to see out of them against him?
Well, we got a great hit. He's running fastballs on us pretty good, and so I think it's just more guys get ripped. It's mostly foul ball the way it looks like, and so we just got to stay up the middle of the diamond and stay flat through the middle. That's how we can get back in this thing. He's not going to make mistakes. We got to stay on it and start using center field, right center.
Andy, we appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
Okay, thank you.
Andy Stankiewicz, the head coach at USC. As Chase Harrell begins his second inning of work, he'll face Eric Paulson to lead things off for North Carolina on this hot and sunny day in Chapel Hill. The opener of the best of 3 Super Regional. Winner of this series goes to Omaha in the Men's College World Series. Also an RBI double off Edwards, one on the count 2-0. Let me ask you as a hitter, if I were to put you in a pitching coach's shoes, and I realize that sounds very strange, but you have an idea of what makes hitters tick and what doesn't. If you're the USC pitchers right now, what are you doing differently to try and get North Carolina out of this attack where they're just, I mean, again, 5 pitches deep in an at-bat?
Right. I mean, really the main thing is understanding that, okay, you know what, this team has shown and proven that they're not swinging outside of the zone, right? So you got to go more into attack, and you want to try to get soft contact early. So, you know, utilize that fastball, work it from side to side, be in the strike zone. You want to get ahead, go 0-1, get to 0-2, be the aggressor.
Paulson lines one over the head. And Carpentier into right center field, a base hit. He's 2 for 3. And a leadoff man aboard for North Carolina here in the 5th. Saturday, don't miss a WNBA doubleheader on ABC. Seattle visits Minnesota at 1 Eastern. Then Golden State takes on Las Vegas at 3. Tip it off with WNBA Countdown 12:30. You can catch both games streaming on the ESPN app. That'll bring up Cooper Nicholson. North Carolina leading 4-1. Okay, but when you throw strikes, they're hitting.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, if you get ahead and all of a sudden now you become the aggressor, now with 2 strikes, now you can kind of throw the ball off. Because right now it's like you start off with ball 1. Now, guess what? Now UNC can get up there and be ready to hit.
Cooper Nicholson, the home run leader on this team, fouls it away. The count 1-1. Chase Harrell has faced 5 batters and already at 31 pitches. It's in on the hands of Nicholson. And the third baseman, Takeuchi, puts it away for out number 1.
And there it is, right? Just get into that attack mode, right? Go right after the hitters. Get to 0-2, then you can expand. But you've already seen a team that really, they're not going to swing early on out of the zone. So you have to flip that. You got to go to plan B. Okay, they're not swinging outside of the zone. Now we got to go into attack.
Tyler Howe singled and scored the first North Carolina run back of the second. Fouled away. If you're just joining us, Mason Edwards, the Big Ten pitcher of the year for USC. Lasted just 3 innings. He got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam by striking out the side in the first. But North Carolina nicked him for 2 runs in the second and 2 in the third. And his shortest outing of the year. And on the flip side, Ryan Lynch has been tremendous for North Carolina. And the count 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Here comes the 2-2 on the ground to first. And Adrian Lopez is second for one. Back to first, not in time. How beats it out? 2 outs.
I like this. First baseman getting out, making the play, making sure that he cleared the runner, gets back. Now, Howe is very quick down that first base line, so they're not able to turn it, but that was nicely done by Lopez.
Flip back to first nearly gave new life to USC with them down 3 here in the 5th with 2 outs. Colin Heineck bats. Heineck has been doing the catching primarily for North Carolina. Making Winslow got hit on the glove hand in a catcher's interference call in a midweek about a month ago. But Heineck is, instead of splitting time, is taken over behind the plate. And I think part of it, even though Winslow's been cleared to catch, Gabby, is, boy, he is a really good receiver at the bottom of the zone.
And he has an absolute cannon for an arm.
Did not throw out as many base runners, or has not this year, a higher percentage than Winslow has. But the transfer from Georgia State, who is the all-time leading home run, or excuse me, 9th on the all-time home run list for the Panthers, has had some big moments down at the bottom of this North Carolina lineup. One of 2 Georgia State transfers, along with Michael McGinnis, one of his best friends, who committed first. Toss to first, and flopping back is Tyler Howe. Great piece today on justbaseball.com from our buddy Monty Taylor, talking about Heineck's impact this season and how important he's been. He's a big personality too. He is a really fun kid. Upstairs, 1-2. He had teams that were calling him that were like, hey, can you commit, when he went to the portal last year? And he waited until North Carolina was ready to make him an offer. And he wouldn't even come on a visit.
He knew where he wanted to go.
Heineck drives it up the alley, left center field. That one's going to get down, a one-hop against the fence. Racing to third is Howe. He's coming home. He will score. It's 5-1 Tar Heels in the 5th. Colin Heineck mashing an RBI double to extend the lead.
Colin Heineck on a 1-2 pitch. This is just a slider that just stays up, and he does exactly what you're supposed to do. Make a mistake, hang a breaking ball, deliver a good swing. Hits it 107 miles an hour off that bat. This is the second base runner for UNC that's able to score from first on a double.
Well, now if you're USC, I know the offense has been much better in the second half of the year, but you can ill afford to fall behind much more in this game, Gabby, with Lynch going and with Caden Glauber and Walker McDuffie lurking in their bullpen. And this is a team that has not lost a game all season when they've had a multi-run lead.
Here's the thing, too. The way that Lynch is throwing the baseball, you have those guys in Glauber and McDuffie, guys that you're going to see a bunch of. But now they get to kind of just relax and wait just because of how well Lynch is throwing.
There's Caden Glauber. Freshman, as Rom Kellis sends that one down the right field line. Long run, and making the catch up against the fence in right field is Basir to end the inning. North Carolina gets a run. We head to the 6th. They lead USC 5-1. opening of Super Regionals here in Chapel Hill. And the North Carolina Tar Heels with a 5-1 lead over USC as we start the top of the 6th. Heart of the order due for the Trojans against Ryan Lynch, who has been dynamite so far for North Carolina today as he drops in a strike on the first pitch to Adrian Lopez. It's 0-1. USC probably with their best chance here to get back in this, Gabby. Heart of the order due up third time facing Lynch. Foul back, it's 0-2.
Hey, here's the thing is that now you already understand with Lynch on the mound what the pitches look like, where they need to be located. Problem is that Lynch right now is throwing it exactly where he wants to at 94, 95 miles an hour.
When that two-seamer just keeps eating up right-handed hitters, he had maybe his most efficient inning in the 5th. Yanked on that one, 1-2. Ryan Lynch has been the Saturday starter this year for North Carolina. He moved into the lead role last week in regionals through 7 shutout innings against VCU. And he's even the count 2-2. Maybe a little too much on those last 2 pitches as he missed badly on them. Carter French is the new right fielder. He replaces Rob Kellis as Tyler Howe moves to left. And a shot back through the middle, a leadoff single for Lopez here in the USC 6th. Lynch's day so far has been very good for North Carolina.
We talked about it, just utilizing the fastball, being aggressive with it, and that's just opening everything up for that slider. But it's been the old #1 and just moving it east to west, side to side, spotting up these pitches. And again, when you're doing that, when you get to 2 strikes, now you're able to expand and get the swings and misses off that slider.
He's not a huge strikeout pitcher over the course of the season, despite the big fastball. Lopez lines it into right field. It's a base hit for Augie Lopez. And it's first and second, nobody out for USC to start the 6th. The best threat for the Trojans today.
Again, 3 times through the lineup, guys have already started to realize and see the pitches. Now they know what the slider looks like. They know what the changeup looks like. They're making the adjustments against Ryan Lynch.
Kevin Takeuchi hits. The first pitch. He gets a jam, floats that one down the left field line, and it'll fall fair. It's a base hit. Adrian Lopez, a great read, will come around to score on the bloop single from Takeuchi, and it's a 5-2 game.
I'll tell you what, getting beat by this pitch actually helped Takeuchi out because of where that ball is going to go and the English it had in the air as it's spinning. He stayed inside this pitch and he gets jammed, and it looked like it was going to go foul, but because he gets jammed and he tries to stay in, the ball actually curves back into fair territory for a double. And you were right. Lopez, great jump at second base, realizing nobody's going to touch this ball. It's going to hit dirt, either fair or foul, and I'm going to make sure that I'm able to score.
3 straight singles, and USC as the tying run coming to the plate with nobody out in the 6th. And Walker McDuffie beginning to get loose. He is the fireman. He will come into the biggest spots for North Carolina to try and shut him down, whether it's the 2nd or the 8th. He is the man that shuts down the game. And Scott Forbes not wasting any time getting him loose as the tying run comes to the plate. And now, Gabby, the home run that Lynch allowed today was to lefty and Lamb. The OPS against him 200 points higher this year from left-handed hitters than right. And of the 9 homers he's allowed, 6 of them to left-handed hitters. Isaac Cadena with 8 long balls on the year can tie it up with 1 swing. First pitch. It's 0-1. Runners get their lead at first and second. The 0-1. Kadena on the ground, diving stop by Paulson. He'll take it to the bag for out number 1. The defensive player of the year in the CAA last year at Stony Brook, Paulson, just saved a run for the moment.
Boy, nice plays by Paulson. This ball is well struck, able to get down that line, dives, makes the play. Not only that, getting up quickly and getting over first. I mean, that's definitely scoring 1 if it gets by him, maybe 2.
Now here's Jack Basir, infield back. First pitch. Basir takes way outside, 1-0. Boy, the more he yanks on pitches, the shorter that leash is getting on Lynch.
Yeah, I guarantee that's exactly what Scott Forbes is looking at. You know what? He's starting to yank these breaking balls. He's not able to stay on top of it like he was earlier in the game.
The 1-0. Inside corner, a strike, and the count 1-1. And with Andrew Lamb sitting on deck, and we talked about his struggles against lefties, it feels like this might be the last hitter of the day for Lynch.
Especially when they get McDuffie up, they want to use him, right? And he's able to get quickly warmed up.
The 1-1. Foul back, it's 1-2. Third time through the order has been an issue for Lynch, like it is for a lot of pitchers. But lefties have really hammered him this year. And that's why you wonder, with Scott Forbes on the walkie-talkie, if this is the last hitter for Lynch. Runners get their lead at second and third with 1 out. Tying run at the plate for USC. The pitch. Foul back. He tied him up with 94. Wow.
Just fighting it off, right? Just get to the next pitch. Probably looking for a sinker, knowing that it's coming, and then all of a sudden just being able to fight it off there. You would have to think at this point you're going to get a slider away. It's a pitch that he has been throwing all day. He'll come up and in to open up that slider down and away.
The 1-2.
Oh, boy.
Strike 3. A backdoor two-seamer for out number 2.
Or you could throw that one. Go up and in, and then backdoor two-seam right on the corner.
7 strikeouts for Lynch. And with Andrew Lamb coming up, Scott Forbes is going to the bullpen. A strong performance from UNC starter, but with the game on the line here in the 6th inning and the power of Andrew Lamb coming up, Walker McDuffie, the bespectacled demon, is coming in for UNC. Big moment upcoming in the 6th with Carolina leading 5-2. Walker McDuffie entering the game for North Carolina, their top sophomore reliever. When the going gets tough, Carolina calls on McDuffie. And he enters a situation with the tying run coming to the plate and 2 outs in the 6th inning. Do not let the cherubic look fool you. This guy has been incredible.
And Scott Forbes told us, too, that he loves to bring in Walker McDuffie, especially with guys on and guys in scoring position. He's been in those moments. He loves those moments. He relishes those moments. So that's why it was an easy one with guys on. That was going to be who they were going to go with.
McDuffie with 2 on, 2 outs, facing Andrew Lamb, who is homered in this game. The first pitch to the left-handed hitting left fielder, foul to the plate. It's 0-1. Lamb got the scoring serve for USC in the 3rd.
Remember, they're 97 miles an hour top of the zone, and Lamb absolutely crushes it.
McDuffie has been very good against both lefties and righties, although he walks a lot of left-handed hitters. He misses away there. It's 1-1. Diving into some of the numbers, that was a thing that surprised me. He will walk about 1 out of every 6 lefties. The 1-1. Just missed. It's 2-1. There's Ryan Lynch, who started. Strong outing so far, but responsible for a couple of men on here in the 6th inning. 2-2.
Boy, that changeup, though, is an equalizer. You got 94, 95 with the fastball, and he can pull the string with the best of them.
The development of that pitch has been really big for McDuffie this year. 2-2 the count. Fans getting to their feet. The pitch. And the count goes full to Lamb.
Against lefties, he'll utilize the fastball 34% of the time. He'll utilize the changeup 34% of the time.
So he throws the slider about 33% of the time?
About 24. No, maybe 28.
3-2 the count. Runners get the lead at 2nd and 3rd. The pitch. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Fine at bat for Lamb, and now here's Dean Carpentier.
Boy, what a big-time pitch. It's a backdoor. You're talking about the slider. Well, there it is. Tries to backdoor that slider just a little off the plate, and Scott Forbes is going, ooh, he wanted that one.
Just missed the edge, but the bases are loaded now for Carpentier. A base hit today for the shortstop. Also struck out. First pitch, a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Drive deep to left field. Going back into this. How? He's at the fence. It's a grand slam. Carpentier has turned this game around. A grand slam has given USC a 6-5 lead in the 6th.
My goodness, a slider. Good pitch, but better hitting by Carpentier. Stays on it, drives it out to left field, and all of a sudden, USC has overtaken the lead.
First career grand slam for Carpentier.
Wow.
And just the 3rd homer allowed by McDuffie.
I mean, a back-up slider. Stop down in the zone. Just a really good job by Carpentier to get barreled to baseball and hit it out.
Walter Urban with a 1-1 count. 2-1. It escalated quickly here for USC. And a grounder to third, and it gets past Nicholson. And Urban aboard.
That ball just took a funky hop on Nicholson getting through. And this USC team is being relentless now.
Now they can smell it. They have turned things around with one swing. Gabby, it didn't feel like for most of this game that USC was as close as they were, but this inning they have really gotten to quality UNC pitching. And Avery Covarrubias takes a ball outside. It's 1-0. Hitless in 3 trips today. Fouled away. One and one. Tapper, going to be a tough play for McDuffie. He will throw to first, and the inning is over. But a 5 spot for the Trojans in the 6th, including this blast from Dean Carpentier. You hang 'em, we beg 'em. 6-5 Trojans go to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to the NCAA Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Ben Kushney is the new pitcher for USC, suddenly being handed a 6-5 lead after the Trojans put up a 5 spot in the top of the 6th. Dean Carpentier's grand slam, the big blow. Chase Harrell did a pretty solid job at his couple of innings of work. Remember, Mason Edwards, the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, lasted just 3 innings in this one, and USC, who had to fight their way through the loser's bracket in College Station. What's it they say? Fight on, right? Isn't that the motto for USC right now? They're in a fight. And Walker McDuffie, after giving up that grand slam, trying to center himself. Top of the order due for North Carolina. First pitch to Schaffner. Up and in. It's 1-0.
Yeah, Ben Kushner, I mean, coming into the ball game, really it's a 3-pitch mix with a fastball, slider, changeup, but he's really good against left-handed batters. So with Schaffner up and Hull being up in this inning, and the way that, you know, Scott Forbes sets up his lineup where it's lefty-righty all the way through, you can probably expect, if he's able to throw some strikes, for Kushner to be out here for a little bit.
Falling behind 2-0. North Carolina's at-bats have been very good today. They've played at 5. That inning spun away from them very quickly and gave USC the lead. Schaffner rockets 1-5. It's 2-1. I mentioned it before. North Carolina has not lost a game that they led by multiple runs all season. Now it's going to be up their offense. 2-1. Schaffner pops it up towards the line and left. Lamb moving over, still moving over, and he makes the catch. He never looked comfortable going after that one, but that's out number 1. The NCAA men's college baseball postseason coverage continues this weekend across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN+. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Kushner facing one hitter, and Andy Stankiewicz going back to his bullpen here, it appears.
Interesting.
So just playing matchups here to get Schaffner. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for USC in a moment. The Trojans leading 6-5 in the 6th. One out in the bottom of the 6th inning with USC leading North Carolina 6-5. 5-run 6th inning. The big difference for USC right now, they are so tough. I mean, what they did in College Station was incredible. Losing the opener, having to beat A&M twice in one of the toughest environments in the country, and they're showing that toughness again today.
Yeah, they're showing you make a mistake, they make you pay. But boy, that was a big one there for Carpentier to get up there. He got a backed up slider, was able to put a good swing on it. But you're right, the relentlessness, right? Didn't matter what the score said, they could just continue to put the pressure on.
They have metaphorically punched North Carolina in the mouth. Now the question is, how does UNC respond? Gavin Gallagher faces the new pitcher, Drew Johnson, who drives that first pitch foul and out of play. 0-1. Johnson's been a starter for a good chunk of the year, Gabby, but this is their guy in the big spots. This is their version of Caden Glauber out of the North Carolina bullpen. It would not be a surprise to see him go the rest of the way as he gets Gallagher on the ground out, 2 gone.
Yeah, you're right. Started 11 games so far this season. Guy that can go multiple innings. 4-pitch mix with a fastball. Has the slider and the curveball. Will also throw the changeup. Will mostly stay with fastball, slider.
So Andy Stankiewicz talking to Sergio Brown. One of the really great California recruiters of all time, who's on this USC staff. And Owen Hull swings at the first pitch and rolls to second, and the inning is over. All the momentum in Southern Cal's back pocket as they lead UNC 6-5. We head to the 7th. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Walker McDuffie, after giving up the go-ahead grand slam to Dean Carpentier, it's back to the mound, the 6th inning. The big difference in this one, including that slam, second grand slam of the tournament for USC. The other one from their number 9 hitter, Walter Urban. So the number 8 and number 9 hitter in the Trojans lineup have each hit grand slams in the NCAAs.
That's called getting production from the bottom of the lineup.
What was the prediction of the top of the lineup? They got things started. Adrian Lopez, a base hit to start that inning, and now this one into the left field corner. It'll be a leadoff double for the first baseman, keeping the pressure on Walker McDuffie.
Again, for Walker McDuffie, just really the slider is not doing much. It's staying up. It doesn't have that same tilt that we're used to seeing. And if you do that against good hitting teams, they're going to make you pay. This ball well struck down the third base line. All of a sudden, USC has another guy in scoring position.
Matty Mateus beginning to get loose in the North Carolina pen. Not in a position, even in just a one-run game, where they want to go to Caden Glauber, it seems like.
That's what I thought they were going to be going to.
I think they had it lined up where it's, hey, McDuffie can go for an inning and a third or something like that, and then they would go to Glauber to finish.
Glauber, yeah.
As it is right now, there's Glauber holding a cup of water or coffee or tea. Mateus, who battled injuries last year, was such a huge part of that Omaha team 2 years ago. The Stanley Cup Finals continues Saturday night at 8 Eastern on ABC. With the first game in Vegas after the 1-1 split in Carolina. Canes with a big comeback here in the Triangle to win it in overtime last night in Game 2. Duffy will face Augie Lopez, the leading home run hitter for USC. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. And about front on a changeup there.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're McDuffie, you got to make a change with your pitches. The slider's not doing what you want it to do. So now you have to go to that changeup a little bit more. You got to be able to utilize that fastball.
Bouncer foul, it's 0-2.
And right now, if I'm a USC hitter, I'm eliminating that breaking ball because you're going to swing at it when it's hung, right? So you're going to look fastball. You're going to try to stay on the changeup.
Andy Stankowicz's club with the big 5-run 6th inning and give them control of this game, and they're looking for more with their best hitters coming up. 1-2. A huge opportunity for USC to take control of this game. Lopez, the most outstanding player in the College Station Regional, waits and takes high. It's 2-2. Swinging a drive down the right field line, racing over. French, he can't get there. It's a base hit. Adrian Lopez will stop at third, and there's runners at the corners with nobody out. Boy, that seemed for sure like that was going to be a ball that Adrian Lopez would score on.
Look, I understand that there is no outs, but when you're at second, you got to realize where the outfield is, because off the bat, this looks like this ball is going to get down. Now, you are taught, go back, but on this one, you got to be able to read that, and it should have been an easy read to be able to take off and get to home, and it just looks like as he's getting to third, he's breaking it down.
You could see right after that, the look on his face was, man, I misread that. And Scott Forbes is going to get Walker McDuffie here. The head coach for North Carolina has not made the signal as of yet, and he does here. The relief ace for North Carolina gave up a grand slam in the 6th, then USC with a chance to take control of the game, leading by a run with runners at the corners and nobody out in the 7th.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
1 week from today, the Men's College World Series starts. West Virginia went away from their first ever trip to Omaha. Troy and Little Rock just got underway about 30 minutes ago. Later tonight, Auburn and Ole Miss, all 4 teams that come out of these super regionals, will play on Friday starting at 2 o'clock Eastern in our nation's heartland. Walker McDuffie done after a third of an inning. A rough outing for the sophomore relief ace. Scott Forbes pulling the plug very quickly on him. He just did not seem to have his best stuff today.
And I think that Forbes saw that very quickly and said, you know what, we got to go to the bullpen. One, you get McDuffie out, you're going to be able to utilize him again. But 2, once you see a guy doesn't have it, you got to go to the next in line. And Manny Mateus is going to be that guy. Somebody that they last season is who they called for, just like they did with Duffy, where, hey, bring him in. He's going to be able to collect outs. This year, not the same type of season for him. He does utilize a couple different pitches. He'll throw that four-seam fastball, not an overpowering fastball, 88 to 92. But he was a guy that was always able to control the zone with all of his pitches.
He comes into a big spot here. Runners at the corners, nobody out in the 7th inning. Kevin Takeuchi trying to extend the lead for USC. First pitch to the third baseman misses. It's 1-0. Much happier with the way Mateus has been throwing the ball of late, but Mateus has not, as you said, had a great season overall. Swing and a miss. That was almost like a splitter, 1-1. There was no spin on that pitch. It just dropped. Infield back. North Carolina feeling that they can get back from a 2-run deficit if they can turn a double play. Upstairs, 2-1.
Yeah, interesting, because usually in these situations, first and third, you would have third base playing in and middle playing back, but everybody seems to be playing back.
Foul back, 2-2.
Of course, Paulson's the only one that would be just being in at first base. Usually these situations, you would see Nicholson at third base, more on that back, because if a ball gets hit to him, he can make that decision of, hey, do I want to go home or do I want to go to second?
2-2. Down low, the count's full. Lopez just a couple of stolen bases at first. Probably not running in this spot. The 3-2. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded for Cadena. Cadena with an RBI ground out. Excuse me, with a ground out. Runners at first and second in the 6th. On a nice play by Eric Paulson at first. And they're pinched in at the corners now with a left-handed hitter up. First pitch strike at 89. It's 0-1.
And still playing back up the middle, trying to turn the double play. Corners now, though, are playing in.
The 0-1. On the ground. Diving stop by Gallagher. He'll get the out at first. A run scores, and it's a 7-5 lead for USC. A really nice play by the second baseman, but USC tacks on a run.
I'll tell you this, Gallagher last year played third base, moved him over to second, and he has been the best second baseman statistically making plays. Makes a great one there to save a couple runs.
Infield all the way in, and the first pitch cut on and missed by Basir. It's 0-1. Struck out looking in the 6th. Tyus needs a strikeout here. Basir with a chance to poke a hole in that infield and give USC a big advantage. The count 1-1.
Yeah, looking for the strikeout here. This is when a pitcher goes up there, and that's what he's trying to do. Trying to get a big strikeout. Got to work the corners. Runner should be moving on contact from third.
The 1-1. Outside, 2-1. We've seen a couple pitches in the dirt from Manny Mateus. 3 wild pitches for him in the ACC tournament.
Yep.
So something to keep an eye on with runners at second and third. See if Heine can stop him. The 2-1. On the ground, just short. Schaffner coming home. Throws offline, and a run will score. Schaffner didn't get up to his feet. The throw was offline, and when Heine couldn't handle it, another run crossed the the plate, and it is 8-5 USC.
We talked about that runner is going to be going on contact. This ball well struck off the bat of Basir. Hits it well. Schaffner makes a great play, but he can get up here. He doesn't have to stay on his backside. He could have gotten up very quickly, made that throw to home, but because he was on his backside, he's not able to make it. He ends up pulling that throw away. You can actually see Lopez stopping before getting to home because he was like, I'm going to be out. I'm trying to get into a rundown at this point to get that batter runner to second.
And into the bullpen again for North Carolina. Jackson Rose, the freshman, is coming in. USC trying to break it wide open. They lead 8-5 in the 7th. See the Bosch on the screen there. We're at Boschmer Stadium, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Super Regionals, and right now USC is taken over a game that they were down 5-1 going to the 6th. 7 runs in the last 2 innings, including a grand slam. And off the bat of that man, Dean Carpentier. New pitcher, the 3rd of the inning for North Carolina. It'll be the freshman Jackson Rose, who's been a midweek starter. They were very impressed with the way he's thrown out of the pen, Gabby, but he enters a situation here with a couple of men on, and there's not a ton of experience for him entering mid-inning in games, but he's going to face the lefty Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, one of the bigger things has been the walk percentage and the walks, 22 walks and 42 innings pitched. He does have strikeout ability. He's got a good fastball, changeup, slider mix.
First pitch to Lamb, who bunts. Rose has it. His only play is to first. A perfect safety squeeze. And the small ball works to make it a 4-run lead for USC in the 7th.
And Coach Andy Stankiewicz, he said, bottom of the lineup, I make those guys bunt. You got the 1st and 3rd situation up. Go ahead, put the bunt down. You're going to give up an out to record a run. And that's exactly what they did. It's a safety squeeze. You're waiting for that ball to get down. Perfectly executed.
2 outs and a man in scoring position for Carpentier, who hit the grand slam that gave USC the lead in the 6th. Carpentier, recruited as a corner infielder, taking over at shortstop. Fouls it back. And here's what gave USC the lead.
That backup slider stayed over the heart of the plate. Down in the zone. Carpentier, boy, he did not miss that one.
Carpentier earned his place in this lineup this season, and he waits and takes in the dirt. Good stop by Heineck. The count 1-2. Andy Stankiewicz said that Carpentier is a guy who sees everything you want in a young player. He kept showing good at bats, and especially against lefties, and started getting spot starts. And then eventually got to the point in the lineup where they played him at third and then slid him to short, and he's been very good defensively as well. And clearly he has some power because he's shown it in this game, and a huge game-changing swing, and maybe a super regional changing swing. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Carpentier down on strikes, and the inning is over. But 3 more for USC in the inning. It's time to stretch in Chapel Hill with the Trojans leading the Tar Heels 9-5. USC has one of the greatest legacy in college sports. No one has won more Division I national championships in baseball. The last one came in 1998. Rod Dedeaux has his name on the field. He was replaced by the great Mike Gillespie. They've won 12 national titles and have a pair of Hall of Famers you see right there, Tom Seaver, Randy Johnson, and it is a very happy group of USC Trojan fans. You saw Sean Allen and the new third baseman there, Maddox Risky, the first pitch to make it Winslow's strike. It's 0-1, so some defensive changes here for USC, as they have a 9-5 lead inside. They count 1-1. Now you see Kevin Takeuchi, who's moved. Maddox Risky takes over at third base. One outside, 2-1. Takeuchi moved to center field. So Walter Urban out of the game. Popped up and fouling on a play. Excuse me. The Urban moved to left. So it's Andrew Lamb that's out of the game, who had the sacrifice bunt, the safety squeeze in the 7th. There's Urban getting their best defensive group on the field up 4. Shot foul play.
This is something that they say they like to do, especially late in ball games. They're going to put their best hands out there.
Urban, Takeuchi, Basir around the outfield. Risky, Carpentier on the left side. Rubis and Adrian Lopez on the right. Cadena still behind the plate. That gets it set. They will move guys around, but they have a very versatile and very good defense. And looking at some of the metrics on USC, Gabby, all of their guys are above average defenders regardless of what position you put them at. I mean, that's real athleticism.
Right.
Probably a real reason why they won 47 games to this point.
When you're able to move guys around to different positions, one, for the player, it's not easy. Right? 2, you're having to do a lot more work defensively.
Winslow lines to left, and there's Urban for out number 1. Macon Winslow lines out to start the 7th. I'll bring up Eric Paulson. Drew Johnson was the Sunday starter for about half the season, a little more than half of it. Has become their Swiss Army knife. And Paulson lines that one up the alley in left center, and Urban runs it down. Walter Urban with a fine running grab for out number 2.
I'll tell you what, second ball that UNC has hit in this inning over 100 miles an hour. And how about Urban, too? Going from center field to left field, first 2 balls. I mean, look how much range he has to go get it.
He made that look easy. 2 outs.
Johnson say that this is easy.
Walter Urban, the son of CAA agent Joe Urban, a longtime baseball agent. Saw an interview with Andy Stankiewicz about Walter Urban. Said the first time I saw him, he was walking barefoot through the parking garage. He just never wears shoes on campus. He grew up on the beach. He's a surfer. He's got cleats on now. We're not going with shoeless Walter here. Two outs for Nicholson. Called strike 3. And a 1-2-3 inning for Drew Johnson, who struts confidently off the mound. It's all USC right now. The Trojans stunning North Carolina. It's 9-5 as we head to the 8th. Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. Dean Carpentier with the go-ahead grand slam, capping a 5-run 6th inning for USC as they turned a 5-1 deficit into a 6-5 lead. They've extended it. They're up 4 on North Carolina. Jackson Rose works. And the first pitch to the number 9 hitter, Walter Urban, is a ball, 1-0. Urban in the back to the top of the order. There's Carpentier, one of the heroes so far for USC. And we should give a little credit to their bullpen, too, because Chase Harrell and Drew Johnson have given up just a run in 4 innings. Remember, this is a game that was started by the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, Mason Edwards, who was knocked out of the box after 3 innings, his shortest outing of the year. And USC is now 6 outs away from a Game 1 win in Supers.
I tell you, you have to give credit to the bullpen because they've been able to come in and just shut down that UNC lineup. Not only that, giving their team a chance to get back.
This is, as Urban goes down on strikes, not a team that looks like it hasn't been in the postseason this deep in 21 years, is it?
No, this looks like a confident bunch. I mean, they have just basically taken what they did in regional and just continued it. Like, doesn't matter if you're down back against the wall, just keep playing, next man up mentality, get the big hit, and then once you get the lead, continue putting the pressure and continue adding on. That's what they've done here today.
Avery Covarrubias fouls the first one off. It's 0-1. I mean, this probably isn't even a deficit in super regionals. That's nothing. Losing your field for 2 years, that's something. That's what happened to USC after Andy Stankiewicz's first year. They told him, hey, congratulations, thanks for your first season here. Also, you're not going to have Dato Field available to you for the next 3 seasons. We're building a new aquatic center for the Olympics. And then they didn't build the aquatic center, but he still didn't have his field for 2 years. They were having to travel to different junior colleges, including like East LA Junior College, to practice. That's like 10 miles from campus. That's like 45 minutes each way in LA traffic.
And be careful, it could be longer.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Rose. 2 years in a row they played their home games in Irvine, which is not close. Cicerone Field. This year they've been back at Dato since the fall, even though it's not done. But this team never complained about it. Andy Stankiewicz told his guys, like, if you want to transfer, I understand. Guys have stuck with the program. He is stuck with the program. Boy, their toughness has been on full display today. And they were great at home this season. Driven deep to center field. Hall going back. He's got room. And Lopez retired a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Rose. Time running out for North Carolina. They trail by 4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. It's just another Trojan on Trojan battle as the Trojans lead the Tar Heels here 9-5 KB. Drew Johnson back to work and starts with a strike. Johnson in his 3rd inning of work. This is what USC bullpen has done today, Gabby, in relief of Mason Edwards, one of the top pitchers in the country, the top strikeout pitcher in the nation, who lasted just 3 innings. Maddox risky, makes the play in foul ground, and the leadoff man gone here in the 8th. And all of a sudden, the quality of the at-bats for North Carolina, we have not really seen this season, has started to dissipate. Johnson set down 7 in a row.
Look, I mean, you have to look for somebody to step up, right? And that's exactly what this bullpen has done for USC. And you're right, when you're looking at right now this UNC lineup, not the same as what started off the game. All of a sudden, they're starting to see the outs count backwards, and now they're down to 5, and they're starting to really put a little bit more pressure on themselves, and they're doing stuff that we're not used to seeing.
But you hit on this earlier, right? The difference between what Johnson has done, he's pumping 94, 95 here, is that he's been ahead of the count, and that was a major issue for Mason Edwards today. 8 up, 8 down for the sophomore, 2 outs, his second strikeout.
I told you, I mean, when you have a lineup like UNC that is pesky and they're going to kind of make you work and throw pitches, the only way to combat that is getting 0-2, right? And then all of a sudden you pump 2 strikes. Now what you're able to do, go off the plate with your breaking ball, get the swing and miss.
2 outs for Rom Kellis. Excuse me, for Carter French, who entered the game defensively back when North Carolina had a 5-1 lead. A senior from Tampa. Fouled away. Excuse me, it's 7 up, 7 down for Johnson. They had Ben Cushney get the first out of the 6th against Schaffner. At either rate, it's now 10 in a row set down by USC's bullpen. They have silenced this crowd here in Chapel Hill as they lead 9-5 heading to the 9th. Here's what we're looking at. West Virginia already 1 win away from Omaha after they pounded Cal Poly this afternoon. Troy leading Little Rock. Auburn and Ole Miss later tonight. 4 teams are going to be 1 win for the Men's College World Series. Right now it looks like USC is in that position. Been a quarter century since the Trojans have played in Omaha. Troy with a 5-1 lead, by the way, at the top of the 3rd over Little Rock. Jackson Rose's first pitch to Augie Lopez misses. It's 1-0. Augie Lopez, Kevin Takeuchi, Isaac Cadena for this USC team that was down 5-1 going to the 6th inning with Ryan Lynch dealing. And you hit it at the time. 3rd time through the order. Got to watch him. And they have taken control of this game.
Yeah, had some really good at-bats. And then, I mean, it happened quick, too, right? Really good at-bats. All of a sudden, you bring in Walker McDuffie, a guy that has been in those situations before.
Lopez to center, going back out at his Owen Hall with plenty of room. He'll put it away for out number 1.
And he can't get out of it. But you have to give credit to this USC lineup because they have been relentless. Kind of a flip between the first, 5 innings of what UNC was able to do they flipped it. Now all of a sudden they became the aggressors, and they're going out there and tacking on runs.
Kevin Takeuchi's 2 for 3, and make it 3 for 4 as that one will kick off the sidewall. Big turn at first, and he'll head to second with a one-out double.
All right, now for UNC, they're looking to get out of slam range. Right, that's exactly what you want as a coach. Just get one more run, tack it on. This is a changeup. It's just left up and out over the plate. Takeuchi does a nice job of hitting that ball right down that third base line.
I mean, this has been a stunning turn in the second half of this game. Remember, North Carolina, according to our friends at True Media, the only team that didn't blow a multi-run lead this season. 44-0 in games that they led by 2 or more runs. The last time they lost a game with a multi-run lead, Game 3 of Super Regionals against Arizona last year. They're in jeopardy of seeing that 44-game win streak in those situations snap. Rose ahead 0-2 on Isaac Cadena. RBI ground out his last trip. And even more important, maybe, well, I shouldn't say more important, but what has been such a big deal was USC tacking on those 3 runs in the 7th.
Yeah.
The 0-2. It's foul. Comes the 0-2 on the ground to first. Paulson has it. He will take it to the bag for out number 2. Takeuchi goes to third. 2 outs. And it'll bring up Basir.
And if you're Jackson Rose right now, the biggest thing is not letting that runner from third score. So right now, if you're Heineck behind home plate, got to do a good job of blocking pitches, especially in the dirt.
I'm not sure how much the difference between 4 and 5 changes run expectancy, but you mentioned it before. Get them out of slam range, right? Where one swing of the bat cannot change the scoreboard. 1-1. Boy, Rose has been electric today.
I mean, we've heard it all season long, and we were even looking at it like they keep telling us about Rose and how good he is, and we never see him because they really never had to go to him. Man, he is very electric from the left side.
He's ahead 1-2.
Right now, he's going to need to use his put-away pitch. Against righties, he likes to go with the changeup. He'll work it down and away, especially after trying to bully in with the fastball.
Carolina fans trying to get behind the lefty. The 1-2. Outside, 2-2. The pitch. Called strike 3, and the inning is over. Carolina has the top of the order coming up at the bottom of the 9th, but USC 3 outs away from a Game 1 Supers victory. USC trailed 5-1 going to the 6th. This grand slam by Dean Carpentier gave them the lead 6-5. They've tacked on since then, and Drew Johnson of the bullpen have been tremendous to this point. The sophomores set down 8 in a row, 10 in a row overall for their pen, as they've been outstanding today and find themselves 3 outs away from a 1-0 lead in this Super Regional. There's Carpentier, the hero offensively for USC. And those Tar Heel fans looking for a little Bosch magic as the leadoff man, Jake Schaffner, will get things started here in the 9th. North Carolina, with Schaffner leading off, takes the ball. It's 1-0. That's incredible. That streak in jeopardy of being broken. The last time they lost a game with a multi-run lead, Super Regionals last year, Game 3. And Schaffner off the glove of the diving Carpentier, and the leadoff man aboard for North Carolina in the 9th.
And if you're UNC, that's exactly what it is. You got to get guys on. You know you're down by 4. So it's about passing the baton. One guy goes up, gets on, next man up. See if you can get at least a tying run to come to the plate.
First base runner since Colin Heineck doubled home a run in the 5th to make it 5-1. Quick meeting here. There is action in the bullpen for USC. Sax Matson is the left-hander. Adam Troy, who struggled with the long ball of late, is the righty. Johnson's first pitch to Gavin Gallagher on the ground to 3rd. Could be 2. The second for 1. On to first, a double play. And USC is 1 out away from winning Game 1 of Supers.
Well, you talked about bringing in the all-hands team, and that's exactly what USC does. Musquet goes over to 3rd base. This ball well struck right at him. He's able to make it. Getting over to Covarrubias and getting over to 1st.
Maddox Risky starting the double play at 3rd base. 2 outs, nobody on for Owen Hall. First pitch a strike. It's 0-1. 8 runs combined between the 6th and the 7th inning. USC trying to win a 5th straight postseason game, and they are 1 strike away from being able to say that they have. 0-2 the count to Hall. The pitch. 1-2. Drew Johnson winds and delivers. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Owen Hall. It is a loud, small bunch of USC fans chanting, "Let's go Trojans," as Hall runs the count full. Johnson, who threw 7 1/3 strong in Game 6 of the regional against A&M to help force a winner-take-all, delivers, and that one lined into left field, a base hit for Hall. And North Carolina keeping their chances alive. That double play looks big now, doesn't it?
Huge. And there's a reason why you bring in the guys that you bring in for defensive reasoning. Ends up playing a huge factor in this ballgame.
Nathan Winslow smashed a ball right at the left fielder his last trip. First pitch to Winslow. Misses high. It's 1-0. Johnson, both those hits allowed in this inning, trying to close it out. Winslow to center, going back on it and making the catch as the center fielder Takeuchi. And USC has rallied from a 5-1 deficit in the 6th. They have beaten North Carolina, the number 5 overall seed, 9-5. And the Trojans are 1 win away from their first trip to Omaha in 25 years. The final 9-5.
You got to look at 2 different areas of this USC Trojan team. One, the bullpen, what they were able to do. And how about 7, 8, 9 in the lineup, contributing for 6 of the 9 runs in today's ball game.
At the outfield flipping today as USC beats North Carolina 9-5 to take the opener of Supers, and it'll be on the shoulders of that man Jason DeCaro tomorrow to keep North Carolina's season alive. A huge comeback performance.
Take your time, man.
As USC and Andy Stankiewicz have come in and stunned another national seed. And the big hit of the game was in the 6th inning. This grand slam from Dean Carpentier to give USC the lead. And the Trojan shortstop is set to join us now.
Face you.
Dean, Mike Farron, and Gabby Sanchez, first of all, congratulations. You guys have been so resilient. Why do you think that is over these last 2 weeks?
I mean, we just got a good group of guys. You know, we're always rooting for each other. And, you know, we're here to win, so that's what we're doing.
I got to look at 7, 8, 9. You guys contributed today for 6 of the 9 runs. Are you guys calling yourselves something in the bottom of the lineup? Because you guys have been just smashing baseballs.
Yeah, you know, we're called the snipers. You know, Coach Travis always tells us that the 7, 8, 9 guys are the snipers. And so, you know, we're coming out here sniping, putting on some runs, and helping the offense keep going.
All right, you face one of the top relievers in the country in Walker McDuffie. Take us through what you saw in that at bat.
Yeah, I was sitting on a slider. You know, I knew he was a slider guy, and the first one kind of was, you know, out over the plate, and I knew he was coming back to it 0-1, put a good swing on a good pitch, and found a way out of the yard.
What do you have to say, you know, with your bullpen after Mason Edwards is not having the start that he wanted to have, but your bullpen was able to come in and give you guys a chance? How big and key was it for them?
Yeah, it was massive. You know, Chase out of the pen going 2 strong, and then, you know, Kush going 1, getting the leadoff guy, and then Johnson coming in and closing it out. That was awesome.
You know, you're a Southern California guy from Huntington Beach. There you go. I love it, Dean. You deserve it for the players. You grew up in Southern California. I assume you know about the USC tradition.
Yes,
being
sir.
1 win from Omaha, what does it mean?
Oh, this means the most to us. You know, we're here to win. We're here to do this thing. This is the group to do it. Let's go, Trojan, fight on.
Yeah, could you imagine hitting wiffle balls off your uncle when you were 4 that this would happen?
You know, I was always, you know, hoping and dreaming it'd happen. So that's awesome.
Dean, congratulations. Best of luck. Enjoy tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Go Trojans.
Dean Carpentier and the Trojans, a 9-5 win over North Carolina to take game 1 of the Super Regionals here in Chapel Hill. We will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN with game 2 of this Super Regional. North Carolina trying to extend their season, and USC trying to dogpile on their way to Omaha for the first time in a quarter century. Now for Gabby Sanchez and our entire crew here in Chapel Hill, I'm Mike Farron. Thank you for joining us for coverage of the NCAA Super Regionals. Coming up next, we'll throw things to the studio. Chris Budden and Mike Rooney standing by for more coverage of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals.